Have you noticed how differently you see things now? As we grow older, peace becomes more precious than drama, health matters more than stress, and real connections beat out fake relationships every time. Family should be our safe place, right? But let's be honest, not every relative brings positive energy into our lives. Some drain us completely, pile on the guilt, or constantly make us doubt ourselves. And once you hit 60, taking care of your mental and emotional health becomes absolutely essential. So here's what everyone's wondering. Are there certain family members you should keep at a distance for your own sanity and happiness? I'm about to share 6 types of relatives you should avoid after 60. And trust me, number 5 is going to completely shock you. Stay with me till the end, because you'll not only recognize the warning signs, but also learn exactly how to protect your peace. Let's get started. The drama creator relative. We all know this one. That family member who turns every tiny issue into a complete catastrophe. Like a storm that never passes, they thrive on conflict, blowing small problems way out of proportion and dragging everyone into their emotional tornado. At first, you probably put up with it thinking, that's just how they are. But now you're seeing what it really costs you. Every blow-up, every argument, every manufactured crisis steals a piece of your hard-earned peace. And science confirms what you already feel. Ongoing stress isn't just annoying, it's dangerous for your health. It raises your blood pressure, weakens your immune system, and can even damage your memory. Your body wasn't built to handle constant drama, especially not now when you should be focusing on joy and making the most of these years. Haven't you earned some peace by now? The wisdom you've collected over decades shouldn't be wasted on somebody else's nonstop chaos. You can't control the drama creator, but you absolutely can control how much access they have to your emotions. When they start stirring up trouble, give yourself permission to walk away. Not every battle deserves your energy, and not every crisis needs you to fix it. Your time after 60 should center on what truly matters, relationships that lift you up and activities that bring you joy. There's no prize for constantly putting out fires that someone else keeps starting. In today's world, negativity is everywhere. But you have the power to choose peace instead. Your time is valuable, and your tranquility is priceless. Have you been dealing with a drama creator in your family? Tell me how you handle them in the comments. The money drain relative. When you've reached your golden years, don't you deserve financial security and the freedom to enjoy life your way? But there's a major threat to that peace. The relative who always seems to need money. It starts innocently enough. They have a medical bill, lose a job, or face some urgent expense they swear they'll pay back. But soon, a pattern emerges. Every call, every visit carries the same message. I need money. And if you hesitate, here comes the guilt trip. I thought family helped each other. Or, I'd do the same for you. Sound familiar? Here's the hard truth. Helping once shows kindness. When it becomes a habit, it turns into a financial and emotional drain. Let's be real about retirement. It isn't cheap. You've worked hard for decades, saving and planning for these years. You're likely not earning a steady paycheck anymore, and every dollar counts toward your own well-being. If you keep giving, what happens when you need that money? Will they return the favor? Experience suggests probably not. These relatives rarely change their ways. They've found an easy source and will keep coming back as long as you allow it. Take Bob's story. After working 40 years, he retired with decent savings and dreams of traveling. But his brother always had emergencies. First a business idea, then rent money, then car repairs. Being kind-hearted, Bob kept helping. By 75, his savings had shrunk dramatically, his travel dreams abandoned, and his brother? He'd simply moved on to fund his poor decisions elsewhere. The solution isn't cutting off family completely, it's changing how you help. Offer advice, connections, or guidance. But when it comes to money, stand firm. True support isn't about handouts. It's about encouraging responsibility. Protect your retirement because you deserve to enjoy these years without carrying someone else's financial burdens. Are you funding someone's poor choices at the cost of your own happiness? If so, when will you finally choose yourself? Drop a comment if you've had to set financial boundaries with family. I want to hear your story. The always right relative. You definitely know this person, the one who has all the answers. They correct you even when it's unnecessary and dismiss your choices as if your decades of experience count for nothing. This relative turns every conversation into a debate you never asked for, pushing their views on your life, health, and relationships as if they hold the ultimate truth. And here's the danger. Being around someone like this gradually wears you down. When someone constantly questions your judgment, it plants seeds of doubt. You start second-guessing yourself, wondering if you're making the right choices. This kind of self-doubt is like slow poison that eats away at your confidence and joy. At this stage of life, can you really afford to let anyone shake your sense of self? The reality is, you don't need their approval to know your worth. Your lived experiences, your wisdom, your choices, these are yours and they matter. So what can you do? Set clear boundaries. Let them speak, but don't absorb their criticism as truth. A simple, "I appreciate your input, but I'll handle this my way," can be incredibly powerful. If their presence becomes too toxic, it's perfectly okay to create some distance. Life after 60 should bring clarity and surround you with people who respect your judgment, not those who constantly question it. Would you rather spend your golden years defending your choices to someone who refuses to listen, or invest your energy in relationships that bring genuine understanding? The choice is yours, and at this point in your journey, you have absolutely nothing left to prove to anyone. Does someone in your life always need to be right? Share how you deal with them in the comments. The guilt trip relative. This person has perfected the art of emotional manipulation. They know exactly which buttons to push to make you feel responsible for their happiness. They disguise demands as love using lines like, "After everything I've done for you," or "How can you say no to me?" Let's be clear, real love never comes with strings attached. This type of relative thrives on making you feel obligated, using guilt as a weapon to control your time and resources. If you're not careful, you'll find yourself saying yes to things you don't want to do, sacrificing your own peace just to avoid their disappointment. Over time, resentment builds, anxiety creeps in, and your happiness slowly disappears, buried under the expectations of someone who only takes but never gives. Understand this important truth. Setting boundaries isn't selfish, it's self-respect. You are not responsible for managing someone else's emotions, especially when they're using those emotions to manipulate you. The solution? Learn to say no, kindly but firmly. You don't need to explain yourself endlessly. A simple, "I can't do that," is enough. If they push back, stay strong. Their disappointment isn't your burden to carry. Your later years should be a time of peace and fulfillment, not a constant struggle to protect your joy from someone's manipulation. Remember, guilt only works if you accept it. When you refuse to let their words dictate your actions, you take back your freedom. The biggest regrets often come from living for others at the expense of ourselves. So refuse to let guilt shape your decisions. Choose yourself. Your happiness isn't something you owe to anyone. It's your right to protect. Have you dealt with a guilt tripper in your family? How have you handled it? Let me know in the comments. The controlling caregiver relative. This one might truly shock you, not because they have bad intentions, but because their actions, disguised as help, can quietly strip away your independence. At first, they seem like a blessing, always ready to assist with errands, health decisions, or keeping you company. But over time, their help transforms into control. You hear things like, "You shouldn't be making these decisions alone," or "Let me handle that for you. It's too much for you now." Slowly, your choices stop being yours. You start doubting yourself, believing that maybe they're right. Maybe you don't need them to function. And just like that, your confidence fades, your independence weakens, and suddenly you're living under their authority instead of your own. This is one of the biggest dangers of growing older, not just losing physical strength, but losing the right to direct your own life. Take George's story. He lived independently for decades, making his own decisions. When he turned 75, his niece moved in to help. Initially, it was small things, handling bills, driving him places. Soon she was deciding which doctor he should see, what he should eat, and who he could visit. Whenever George objected, she'd say, "Uncle, I'm only doing what's best for you." Eventually, he stopped pushing back. He stopped deciding. He stopped living on his terms. And that's what made him miserable. Not his age or health issues, but losing control of his own life. The happiest golden years come when you maintain control of your own decisions. True strength isn't just physical. It's the ability to govern yourself no matter your circumstances. When George finally realized he wasn't powerless, he took back control. He hired a professional caregiver who respected his choices, set boundaries with his niece, and reclaimed the independence he had lost. How can you protect yourself? Start by recognizing the warning signs. Does someone make you feel incapable? Do they dismiss your preferences? Do they convince you that you need them to function? These are serious red flags. While accepting help is wise, surrendering control is not. The solution isn't rejecting assistance, but ensuring that the help you receive respects your independence. Remember, just because someone can do something for you doesn't mean they should. Aging should never mean losing the power to make your own choices. Are you living by your decisions or someone else's? Share your thoughts in the comments. The perfect image relative. You know exactly who I'm talking about. The relative who shows up to family gatherings looking like they stepped out of a magazine. Their career is flawless. Their children are geniuses. Their vacations belong in travel ads. And their home could be featured in design magazines. Every conversation somehow circles back to their latest achievement, their perfect life, and the things they have that others don't. They fill social media with highlight reels of success, subtly making you question if you've been doing life all wrong. But here's the reality check. Perfection is an illusion. What they present is carefully curated, a highlight reel designed to impress, not the full picture of their daily reality. Yet the pressure they create can feel suffocating, especially as we age. Your later years should be about peace and embracing the life you've built, not measuring up to someone else's impossible standards. When you start comparing, you invite stress, self-doubt, and unnecessary frustration into your life. Do you really want to spend your golden years chasing someone else's version of success? Real fulfillment doesn't come from appearing perfect. It comes from being at peace with who you are and the impact you've made. The solution? Stop playing the comparison game. Focus inward instead. Celebrate the life you've lived, the wisdom you've gained, and the people who truly matter. Instead of trying to keep up with the perfect image relative, remind yourself that happiness isn't found in external validation. It's found in gratitude, purpose, and authenticity. Your worth isn't measured by how much you impress others, but by the love you give, the lessons you've learned, and the legacy you leave behind. So ask yourself, are you living for others' approval or for the joy of your own journey? Have you encountered the perfect relative at family gatherings? How does it make you feel? Share your thoughts below. Hashtag how to protect yourself and find peace. At a certain age, you simply don't have the time or energy for toxic relationships. These 6 types of relatives can drain you emotionally, mentally, and even physically. Recognizing them isn't about cutting ties immediately or holding grudges. It's about understanding that you have the right to choose what truly adds value to your life. So how do you protect yourself while maintaining inner peace? Let's explore practical solutions. Setting boundaries. One of the greatest life lessons from those who've lived long, fulfilling lives is that peace doesn't just happen. You have to actively protect it. As you enter your later years, your time and energy become incredibly precious. You simply can't afford to let others drain you with their endless demands, drama, or negativity. Boundaries aren't about shutting people out. They're about defining what you will and won't allow in your life. They give you the power to decide where your energy goes. Without clear boundaries, you'll easily find yourself exhausted, constantly catering to others while neglecting your own happiness. The truth is, if you don't set boundaries, people will set them for you, on their terms, not yours. Learning to say no without guilt is a form of self-respect. Whether it's a family member who brings constant drama, always asks for favors but never gives back, or doesn't respect your time, you must stand firm. If a relative calls just to complain about problems they refuse to fix, you have every right to say, I care about you, but I can't keep having this conversation. Let's talk about something else. Boundaries actually strengthen relationships rather than weaken them. When you engage with others on your terms, resentment doesn't build up. In today's busy world, controlling your time is perhaps your most valuable asset. You can't control how others behave, but you can control how much space they take up in your life. Protecting your peace isn't selfish, it's necessary. Life after 60 shouldn't be about constantly putting out other people's fires. It should be about enjoying what you've built and focusing on those who truly enrich your life. Remember, the more you respect your own boundaries, the more others will learn to respect them too. You've earned the right to put yourself first. What boundaries have you set that improved your relationships? Share your experience. Prioritizing your well-being. When you reach your golden years, your happiness, health, and peace should come first. Because if you don't prioritize yourself, nobody else will. Too many people spend their retirement years catering to the demands of others, feeling guilty for choosing themselves. But let me tell you something important. Self-care isn't selfish, it's survival. Retirement isn't just about resting. It's about reclaiming the life you worked so hard to build. You spent decades sacrificing and showing up for others. Now is the time to show up for yourself. But here's the problem. Some relatives will expect you to continue prioritizing them over your own well-being. They'll call with requests, make demands, use guilt. Can you babysit again? Can you run this errand for me? Can you help out just one more time? Before you know it, your time is no longer yours. Days slip by, your energy drains, and you wonder, when do I get to rest? Take a lesson from Margaret, a woman who spent her entire life putting others first. She raised her kids, worked tirelessly, and when retirement finally arrived, she dreamed of peaceful mornings with books and traveling to places she'd only seen in pictures. Instead, her phone never stopped ringing. Her adult children constantly asked for favors. Relatives assumed she was always available, and guilt kept her saying yes. Years passed, and suddenly she was 75, exhausted and full of regrets. One day she realized she had spent so much time being available to everyone else that she had never been available to herself. If you allow others to control your time, they will take as much as you give. Prioritizing yourself isn't about shutting out family. It's about setting boundaries that allow you to live fully without resentment. Take care of your body, protect your mental health, do things that make your heart happy. You've earned this season of life. So ask yourself, are you living for you, or are you still living for everyone else? Because if you don't start prioritizing your own well-being now, when will you? What's one thing you do regularly just for yourself? I'd love to hear about it in the comments. This is one of the hardest but most necessary lessons in life, especially as we age. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring or that you've given up. It means choosing your peace over unnecessary stress, choosing your well-being over constant negativity, and choosing to move forward instead of being weighed down by the past. Think about it. How many times have you held on to resentment, disappointment, or guilt because of a toxic relationship? Maybe it's a relative who manipulates you with guilt, always making you feel like you owe them something. Maybe it's a family member who only calls when they need something, never bothering to check on your well-being. Or maybe it's someone who constantly criticizes, leaving you drained and questioning your worth. The truth is, as you get older, your energy becomes more precious, and you simply can't afford to spend it on people who only bring negativity into your life. Holding on to pain, anger, or guilt doesn't harm the person who hurt you. It only harms you. So ask yourself, what are you still holding on to that no longer serves you? What relationships are keeping you stuck in a cycle of stress and unhappiness? It's time to release them. Accept that you cannot change people who don't want to change themselves. By letting go, you free yourself from unnecessary burdens and open up space for joy, for peace, for relationships that nourish your soul rather than draining it. This doesn't mean cutting people off completely, but it does mean setting firm boundaries, protecting your emotional health, and prioritizing your happiness. Life after 60 should not be spent carrying the baggage of others. It should be about enjoying your time, cherishing the people who truly value you, and embracing every moment with gratitude. So what's stopping you from letting go? More importantly, are you ready to claim the peace you deserve? Have you successfully let go of a difficult relationship? What helped you move forward? Share your wisdom below. Protecting your peace, happiness, and well-being starts with recognizing the relationships that drain you and having the courage to set boundaries. Remember, you don't owe anyone your energy if it comes at the cost of your own peace. If this video resonated with you, let me know in the comments. Have you dealt with relatives like these? How did you handle it? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Before you go, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more life-changing insights. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an upcoming video. Until next time, take care of yourself, choose peace, and remember, you hold the power within.